weird video games.
Okay, last time we talked about a game where you fight food. This time, you fight with food. I know, weird, right? Hold on, we'll get there. Let me start by saying this game was made as part of a settlement from a lawsuit. The company, known as General Computer Corporation, made modified versions of Missile Command and sold it to arcade owners as if they had the rights to it, so Atari got upset. They also developed their own version of Pac-Man without Namco's permission, but kind of got away with that. It eventually turned into Ms. Pac-Man, and their illegal sequel became a huge hit. The early video game years were something. These days you get hit with a DMCA takedown notice if you play a video game you made in your own house if someone upstairs whistles the theme to an anime. Let alone if you were to make a game nearly identical to an existing game, then stuck a mustache on Lara Croft and call it Mr. Tomb Raider. What he really needs is a Savage toupee. Long story short, Atari sued them, and part of the settlement was that GCC had to make games for them. So they made a game about quantum mechanics called Quantum, legally distinct from the game Reactor, and this game about chucking produce at line cooks. You'd almost think they came up with bad ideas on purpose, but they kind of worked. So to recap, their game ideas so far are Missile Command but harder, Pac-Man but a girl, subatomic particles doing things, and throwing bananas at food service workers. All their ideas are terrible, but all their end products are actually really good, like a reverse George Lucas. The objective here is to reach a single melting ice cream cone while 4 chefs wail on you with lunch. You can stop at any food station and hurl them back, but there's a limited supply of everything. Except the watermelon. The watermelon is eternal. The watermelon is eternal. The watermelon is eternal. Supposedly, Food Fight was inspired by the famous food fight scene in Laurence Olivier's Hamlet. But here it's about one freakish kid getting ganged up on by 4 identical chefs that climb out of the earth like culinary Morlocks. Is this a food fight in Silent Hill? You don't just lose if you get hit by food, but also if you touch them, or fall in the holes they crawl out of. What are these holes and where do they lead? Does everything float down there? The fact that these 4 guys are identical wouldn't be so weird to me if not for the fact that they clearly drew different sprites for all 4 to give them different hats, but it made their faces identical, right down to the Inspector Clouseau mustache. Their names are Oscar, Angelo, Jacques, and Zorba, which implies to me they all have different nationalities. Angelo is Italian, Jacques is French, Zorba is Greek, all countries known for their cuisine. Not sure where Oscar's from. Could be English, American, Swedish, I don't know. In any case, why do these guys have the same face? What happened to them in the Upside Down? Did their faces all become one? Were they remade in the image of the great and terrible Tom Selleck? Is that what happens to you if you fall in the hole? Do you become a chef?
You are a chef!
I am the chef!
You are a chef!
I am a chef!
I haven't even touched on how if you touch anything you're not supposed to, all the food in the stage levitates and flies at you at once. You fool! The tactile sensation of failure has awakened the food poltergeist. The poultrygeist, if you will. Now that I've harped on the 4 chefs as much as I have, and the entire situation here, nothing is quite nearly as freakish as our hero, Charlie Chuck. Sure, Double Charles might seem like nothing out of the ordinary, until he reaches the ice cream cone he's been coveting. And then... there it is. This is why we're here. I can see it on all of your faces right now. You were like, this guy thinks every game is weird. What's so strange about the... oh. Yeah, every single stage ends with Charlie Chuck's head turning into an eldritch maw that overtakes the ice cream. He doesn't so much eat it as envelops it so that all that it is ceases to be and becomes one with the void. They actually put the absolute worst frame of it right on their arcade flyers. Hey there, arcade operator, buy our sensible arcade game, sure to startle your patrons into grabbing the nearest fire extinguisher and trying to bash in the screen. Side effects may include all your customers turning into identical chefs. Even the chthonic chefs from London Below understandably run away from this grotesque sight every time it happens. Peter Pepper got off easy. The watermelon is eternal. The watermelon is eternal. The watermelon is eternal. That's just me doing multiple takes, but it might actually be funnier if I just keep repeating it.